Welcome to Movie Speeching. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take good care. Share is the name of the movie. Please like and subscribe to get every update. A young man wakes up in a strange room without knowing how he got there or who kidnapped him. He looked around, found only the shower and toilet. Then he started banging on the wall to ask to be let out. Suddenly he noticed a screen showing the word share, so the guy started entering various commands that would have opened a door, but nothing seemed to work. The computer asked him to share again, so he confirmed the command. Now, while filming, he started asking a lot of questions in front of the camera to understand the situation, but no one answered. After going to the bathroom, he discovered there was no water in there and the sink wasn't working, so he tried to use the computer. When he writes water, the computer says 5. Not understanding, the guy lay down on the ground and waited. Suddenly, a fart comes out of him and this earns him points, allowing him to get the water he wants. After washing his face, the man realized this was a show and real people were watching him, so he started farting while moving around the room ridiculously, but this didn't earn him any money. Not many points. He tried a few commands on the computer and managed to turn off the lights, so he slept on the floor. After a while, the computer prompted him to share again, so he confided about the situation before taking a shower. He got a few points, so he rushed away and started being stupid again, then fell to the ground. As he groaned in pain, the stitches began to lengthen a little faster. Unfortunately, it wasn't much, so when he ordered something to eat, the only thing they sent him was a bowl of dog food, which appeared in a hidden hatch in the wall. The guy complained and tried to send it back, but none of his commands worked. With no other options left, the man began eating the food and even behaved like a dog towards the audience, including barking and panting. This attracted even more viewers and donations, allowing him to order clothes. But that wasn't enough, and they sent him women's underwear, which he modeled for the cinema. That night, the boy collapsed on the floor crying in despair. The next day, he starts trying to entertain his viewers as best he can, such as doing silly dances and saying whatever comes to his mind. Eventually, he accumulated enough points to buy a t-shirt and an inflatable mattress. As the days pass, the points accumulate and he can buy better things like more clothes, shaving tools, mirrors, delicious food, and even alcohol. He was supposed to be a vegetarian, but they only sent him meat and he had no choice but to eat it. In the end, he loved it and the audience rewarded him with more points. One day, he drank too much and tried to smash the screen with an empty bottle, causing his room to lose power. The guy tries new things like pulling screens and food traps, but nothing moves an inch. He was so angry that he punched the screen, only injuring his hand. Then despair sets in and he rages, begging to be released while throwing away everything he has. When he lost all his energy, he started to apologize, but it wasn't until he started coughing that his strength returned. Suddenly the screen shows an older man living in a similar room, although he has more furniture. This old man explains that sometimes the system has problems, but when a person reaches a certain level, they will have access to the public network. This means the guy can also contact other people trapped here, but no one knows anything about their captors. They all woke up here exactly like the main character, no idea how or why. Now the main character has someone to keep him company. In fact, the older man was never silent, moving from one topic to another without much thought, and his constant profanity earned him a lot of points. The principal started to get annoyed with him, but one day, he heard the older man coughing quite loudly. He tried to contact the man, and when he figured out which command to use, he finally found all the other channels. There's all kinds of content, 4,444 cooking classes, makeup tips, and a yoga woman so beautiful the main character can't stop looking at her for a while. After much trial and error, the guy finally connected with the older man and realized that each of them had several channels. The male lead is 14 years old and the male lead is 73 years old. 14 changes his attitude and becomes friends with 73, frequently chatting with him, sharing meals, learning magic from him, and singing together. Sometime later, 14 contacted 28, the woman who practiced yoga at night while other bloggers were sleeping. After admiring her beauty and sense of peace, he sent her a gift. The next morning, 14 starts buying nicer things for her room while chatting with 73, who explains that they can't be on the same level because then viewers will stop liking them and stop sending donations contribute. They need to continuously develop and improve their content to keep their audience hungry. Since then, 14 started trying different things like standing, exercising, cooking, singing, and magic tricks learned from 73. His audience continued to grow, as did his points, which allowed him to purchase even more things to use in his live streams. He also practiced yoga under the instructions of a 28-year-old man and tried to buy medicine for a 73-year-old man who had a constant cough. However, he makes a typo and ends up tracking down room 11, where a woman has just arrived and is currently taking a shower. 11 panics when 14 appears on the screen and accuses him of being a kidnapper, but 14 quickly clears things up. After calming down, 11 suggests that they have rules for living together. At this point, 73 joined the conversation and 11 asked the two men if anyone had ever tried to escape. Therefore, 14 shares his act of attacking the screen and how it was punished. 11 thinks they should still analyze all the information they have and find find flaws in the system, but 73 tells him that she's just being condescending and yells a lot before leaving the chat. The 11 people were confused and wondered why they were chosen, as it was strange for a company to provide housing and food to random strangers. 14 explains that he is no one important and admits that this life is better than the one he had before because now he is important. Sometime later, 14 started a small show with sock puppets, which delighted 73 and brought him a lot of donations. One day, 14 decides to give 11 a shower curtain, but this makes her angry because she doesn't want to be pitied. She wants to be independent. Over the next few days, 14 entertained the public with drawing lessons, but because he was a terrible artist, he turned it into a sketch comedy and introduced himself as a model. All these crazy ideas give him 14 points and he continues to make his room a better place to live. However, the 11 people could not stand all this and decided that they should start a revolution. This sparked an argument between the three friends that only ended when 73 coughed too much to continue. That night, 73 began coughing more violently than usual and choked, causing him to have a mild seizure and fall into the screen. Now his body is so weak that he cannot move. 14 begs the audience for help while 11 tries to find a useful menu on the computer but accidentally presses the wrong button. Suddenly, 73's room started to heat up and soon flames erupted from the walls, burning every object and 73 himself. His friends could only watch as 73 died painfully before his camera turned off. After a period of silence to grieve, 14 contacted 11 and advised him not to blame himself. She refuses to argue with him, so 14 tries one of his puppet shows, causing her to announce that she wants to get drunk. The 14 and 11-year-olds ordered a lot of alcohol and started drinking while pretending to dance together. They share the last thing they remember doing before being kidnapped, and their dancing becomes more playful, including taking off their clothes. They realized they were in love and decided to show off more skin while using their hands to reach the peak of pleasure. When they're done, they realize that it doesn't help ease their sadness, and 14 admits that he can still hear 73's voice. He starts lurking about the situation just like 73 did and agrees with the old plan was 11. All bloggers need to work together to find flaws in the system because 73's death proves that mistakes can happen. 14 then sat in front of the camera and gave a heartfelt speech, which earned him more points that he said he didn't want. He explains what the number 73 means to him and implores other bloggers to start looking for any kind of detail that could serve as a clue to escape. Suddenly, 28 contacted 14, saying that his speech was great and comparing it with his philosophical speeches about a person's inner circle. 11 is upset that what they're doing isn't metaphorical and criticizes him for it, so 28 decides to leave the conversation. Then 14 and 11 checked other channels and were happy to see that some bloggers had joined their plan. For example, a woman who figured out how to make it rain in her room. That evening, as 28 was about to start her yoga routine, 14 decided to chat with her. 28 says that 11 is too angry and negative. This attitude will drive them crazy. She believes in keeping things positive and told 14 that he is famous because he makes people smile, which is extremely valuable in today's social climate. They then started doing yoga together, and their broadcast caused 11 bored people to wake up earlier than usual. Sometime later, 14 checks out 11, who continues to watch other channels. Over time, more and more people adopted their plan and discovered some interesting things, like controlling the ventilation system or even moving a wall. 11 was eager to make a map of the place and take it apart, but 14 was no longer enthusiastic. 28 makes him think that what he is doing is important, so he tells 11 that some people here are happy and they shouldn't harbor their anger. Not taking it seriously, she decided to cut her hair, as a sign of rebellion. That night, 28 starts her yoga class and 11 annoyingly reminds her that they have to have rules to live together. She considers late night classes rude because they make other people angry. Sleepless. An argument ensued and 28 accused 11 of treating other bloggers like their puppets. 14 arrested them and 11 pointed out that 28 was not his friend but her. After seeing another new guy arrive, 14 started looking back at 11's score and went live asking all the other bloggers to send him a score. A problem occurs and his points start to increase extremely quickly, causing 28 people to think he is malicious and a thief. 11 angrily makes it rain in room 28, and 28 says that 11 needs to feel the warmth of his light. This caused heat on the wall, and soon 11 burned marks like 73 before the screen went dark. A devastated number 14 falls to his knees and collapses when suddenly a door opens behind him. He hurried out, but soon he saw his screen turn back on, so he came back to tell the other bloggers that this proves that they can achieve anything when working together. However, the door closes and now the 14 people have to start playing again. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.